Hello and welcome to the show. We are here at the Endurodrome with 3 more vehicles being driven till destruction, starting with a Grand Marshal. You see, many sort of motorsport vehicles have run around this course so far, from race cars to rally cars, drift cars and so on, but no drag cars have ever tackled this punishing circuit. Today, that is going to change. Now, the Grand Marshal is a pretty good base in terms of survivability around here. Pretty tough cars. There are, of course, quite a few downsides with running a drag car here. First of all, suspension is not designed to go around corners, let alone deal with bumps. I mean, this is one of the easier, perhaps slightly better handling drag cars, and that's very loose terms. But yeah, the suspension isn't exactly designed to deal with any of this, and the steering isn't designed to go around corners either. We're trying to take it around a circuit that is notorious for killing wheels and suspension. It won't take much to make this car very uncontrollable. It's not very controllable to begin with, certainly not out here on the dirt. Small tweaks to the steering could have quite catastrophic effects to this car. Small bends could really make it difficult to avoid hazards and so on. I don't know how strong the steering is going to be. I would presume along similar lines to the normal Grand Marshal, maybe even strengthened to deal with all of the power and the speed that goes on, but still, you're asking a lot of the car. The radiator is another area of concern. These drag engines, well, as you can imagine, immensely powerful, run very, very hot indeed, and if we get the radiator punctured, it will probably overheat incredibly, incredibly quickly. Although, I guess on the plus side, well, yes, these engines do overheat very quickly when run at full chat. Because of the car's difficulty in controlling and my difficulty in getting any power down through this rear-wheel drive beast, it doesn't actually run very well. I can't really put my foot down and go for it because, well, we're doing this, or we're sliding, or we're out of control. Basically, the engine doesn't really have to actually work that hard, although if there are any points where it does, it will get accelerated insanely fast. And that's actually a concern in some places. It's easy to misjudge jumps, well, because I'm used to having to, be flat out all the way down here. And this, we just don't need to be. We only need to be flat out for a tiny section, although that's very nose down, which is a slightly alarming trait of the car. We only need a tiny little acceleration zone, and we'll more than hit the speed needed. And if we are going faster than I'm anticipating, we will soar absolutely miles over these jumps. Well, yes, I have a rule. I have to drive the cars as hard as possible. If I go flat out up to this jump here, I will actually clear. Well, I will get halfway into the chicane, and that doesn't really. In fact, even there, I've got myself into problems. That was me being fairly cautious as well. That has put a hole in the radiator. Steering is okay. That is one of the hazards, one of the problems with the drag car. Oh, I think we might have bent something at the front. That has put the radiator out. Thankfully, the engine has actually taken a while to warm up. We might be okay for a little while. I do suspect something else will give way in this car fairly quickly. I can't imagine all of the wheels are going to enjoy this all that much. I don't think the front suspension is really enjoying this all that much. I think it has collapsed. It's very hard to tell, especially with a clonk into the wall, that... oh, Christ, the front end is... I mean, the front end doesn't have much suspension to begin with. I don't think it's really working properly anymore. We're going to hit speed bump. Come on, please turn, please turn, please turn, please turn. There we go. It doesn't really steer at the best of times. And this is not exactly the best condition car, and we're off-road. That is a long way outside of the Grand Marshal's comfort zone. Here we go, across... Oh, no, we got twisted. We just got away with that. When you put the power down, and it wasn't even being silly with the power, just a bit of power down, and the car just yanked itself sideways. That's bad landing on the front there. I think that's all the steering gone. Yeah, I got no steering. It's dead. The steering's completely gone in the Grand Marshal. I mean, we might actually be able to get quite lucky here with the way the banking's going. It's just tipped the car back onto the road, but... we got it a little bit further, but that's dead. That radiator was gone, but that didn't have time to even come into effect. I was fighting for control, getting it up towards the jump. Kind of surprised it snapped both sides of the steering, so the entire steering is gone. In that, I can't even see anything moving. Both tie rods must have gone. It's not going to steer, and that is the end of the Grand Marshal. Could have been worse. To be fair to a drag car, it could have been worse. The second of the drag vehicles to run today is a pretty mad one. This, the Satsuma, the wagon version of the car, but with a quad-rotor engine, some 1,000+ horsepower. It will wheelie under good conditions. Can we get it to wheelie off the line here? There we go. Oh god. No, I'm not going to run having done that. Yeah, this thing will wheelie its way off the line. It's pretty mad. It's pretty mad. Now, again, Satsuma is a pretty strong car. Satsuma is a pretty tough car. We saw that last time. But steering is always a concern. Steering is always a concern with this. It's likely to topple over quite easily as well. So that's going to be a fun one to have to try and deal with outside of all the other control issues. I think we're going to see a lot of rear axles, I mean, threatening to pull themselves apart. I think there's a lot of grip from these tyres, and I'm not sure a lot of the car chassis are quite capable of really dealing with all of that grip. We're going to ping and bounce and bounce and ping and bounce some more, maybe? Just kind of wobbling its way around a corner. It's always sketchy. It's always sketchy when you see that wobbling on the axle. Brakes are doing an okay job at the moment. I mean, I guess it's unlikely that we'll see any brake issues, let's be honest. Again, these cars are not going to have the most, well, you know, I say race, won't they, brake? They're going to have a decent way of getting slowed down. We've not seen brake fade from anything in this series so far. We don't really use the brakes enough around this course. And while, yes, these are probably going to go some of the fastest of anything, it's not likely to become a problem. For a second, I thought the entire rear of the car was moving around as we set off. Thought like the body had come loose from the chassis almost, but no. It's just the flex from the axle and the wheels. We clear that jump, no problem. It crashes down quite hard. Oh, it's going to crash down a bit more over there. So far, it's holding up surprisingly well. It is good. I don't know how much punishment Satsuma is going to be able to take. The steering rack, if I remember correctly, can get quite twisted in these very, very easily. And, well, you saw the front tyres. They're basically bicycle wheels on the front of this, trying to contain... Oh, dear, that's an unfortunate turn of events. Hey, he's going to land it, though. Again, not too bad if we land on the roof. I can cope... Whoa! I can cope with landing on the roof. It's landing on the radiator. The rotor is unlikely to be kind to its engine if the radiator goes. That temperature will soar, I would presume, if we have a radiator failure. It could be very... Like down here, losing the back end approaching this jump is a dangerous thing for a drag car doing, well, a lot of speed. I say a lot of speed. We have actually had faster cars over there because I've actually kind of trusted them to make the ramp without suddenly spitting sideways. Oh, why is there black smoke? What's the smoke for? We haven't punctured anything. Why is there fire? There's a small issue. There is a small... It's only a minor fire at the moment, but there is a small issue. I'm actually going to have to go on brakes because I don't... After the Grand Marshal, I don't want to go fly face first to the concrete barrier again down there. There is a fire going on in my car, and I'm not 100% sure what is causing the fire. If it's only a minor fire, that might be okay. If it spreads to the tyres, we are in trouble. As far as I'm aware, fires are... Outside of burning the tyres, it can't technically knock a car out, although it will make it incredibly difficult to see, and with the tyres burnt, nigh on impossible to control this much power, I would imagine. So if we can keep the fire... keep the fire contained in the engine bay. Just don't let it get out of hand. No, because if we stop, the fire kind of starts up and starts threatening to burn important bits of car. So, I'm not sure that this is safe. We're trying to drive... Sorry, officer, I had to drive as quick as possible because my car was threatening to burst into flames. I don't think that is going to get you out of a ticket somehow. I'm pretty sure this... Oh, dear, that's not what I wanted to do. No. Fire, go away. You're in the mud. Oh, crap. Come on, roll back. Oh, there's a little bit of a slam back, but... Oh, engine, turn back on, please. There we go. Oh, you should get out of the mud. Come on, Satsuma, you can do this. You are clear. Right, fire, if you would be... Oh, so kind as to go out. I had a horrible feeling there were sparks coming from underneath the car, but it might have just been backfiring from the exhaust. We are having more control issues now. The control issues are getting worse on our... car. I mean, it's a bit of a... I think it's more of a barbecue than a car currently. But that's okay. I don't know what it is that burnt. Oh, that's a tyre. I had a horrible feeling that was a tyre there. Briefly caught on fire. I'm not sure if this is a particularly sustainable. I don't really know if this actually works, but it's kind of... It makes me feel better. It makes me feel like I can at least do something. Otherwise, the fire is just going to engulf everything. I think it will probably engulf everything at some point around here. We're going to ping and bounce some more. I am amazed. This is... I mean, the black smoke is getting thicker to the point where it's actually very difficult to drive. And, oh, everything's gone. Everything has briefly gone up. No. If I stay still, everything's going to burn. No, I've got to try and keep going. Put the fire out. Come on, Satsuma. There we go. But I'm not really sure what I'm doing here and how it's working, but it kind of is. If we roll over, we're in a lot of trouble. The tyres are still okay. That's kind of what I need to know, or what I need to keep happening. Oh, we're going to go too slowly in the... Oh, it's slightly alarming. It's nothing to be... Oh, there goes a tyre. It was kind of working for a while. Come on, engine. Trying to get that engine going again. It does not like it. Oh, our steering's really knackered. Our steering's really knackered. That's a lot of fire. Yeah, so the tyres are gone at the front. I think both front tyres have had it. The rear ones are going to go... Oh, there goes a rear tyre. Oh, there's everything's gone. Everything's gone. It's a barbecue now. I can't see a thing. I mean, this is a new problem. We've had sort of visibility. We've had fires before, but never quite to this extent. Oh, that's everything gone. How is that wheel? I thought I'd lost that wheel for a second. Not gonna. We have bent it quite badly. I'm having to try and drive around the fire, which means I've got the camera at a wonky angle, which makes depth perception a little bit difficult. I can't see a thing through the smoke. I don't actually know if I'd be better off. But I would be better going for first person until the fire, like, shows up. And then it just completely blinds you. I don't actually know where's going to be the best place. I think maybe bonnet view is going to be the best place to actually see what the hell I'm doing here. Oh, bumps. Although then we're not going to be able to see if something does start to fail in the car. Whoa. No, don't go over that way. I'm actually amazed it's still got some traction, considering every single tyre is essentially gone. I say we've got some traction. We're in trouble over that way now. We have got the... Well... I say the Human Torch. We have got the Car Torch. It is a new superhero. It's apparently very good at making smoke screens. It's a distraction. It's a distraction superhero. That's what it is. It's also very good at going quick in a straight line. Despite not really supposed to be a... This is quite surviving pretty well, you know, considering what we have got the car dealing with here. This is still going a lot further than a large number of, well, probably more sensible cars, if I'm honest. Oh, that's a lot more fire again. But now it's taken out the tyres, there's not actually much more that it can do. I don't know if it can overheat anything or not. I don't know if it can rupture the fuel tank with the fire like that. I certainly know fires can start from ruptured fuel tanks, but I don't know whether they can actually cause them, because that would be a way for the car to go out. Like, I'm not really... Oh, what did we hit there? Oh, we hit a rock. That bent the chassis some more. What is that hanging low on the car? Is that... It might be just be a bodywork or something, like a bumper or something. Not 100% sure. Oh, my steering is... Steering is not great. We can, thankfully, just roll down the hill and we will get away with it. Oh, no, I think that has... Has that broken the front wheel? Yes, it has. That is a wheel down. I'm not sure if the wheel gave way before we hit that, or... Because the wheel giving way like that is an unusual thing from a hit on the front first. Like, I gotta say a radiator from a front first hit, but maybe it's starting to bend on the way up there. I mean, I'm not exactly surprised a wheel axle gave way, let's face it. I'm amazed it went for as long as it did. It's a barbecue. I mean, that might be one of the more entertaining, most entertaining barbecues we have ever had take place on Driven Till Destruction. I can't believe the drive fast and hope the fire doesn't take the tyres was working until a roll, and then we lost every single tyre, but, you know, is impressive while it lasted. And the final vehicle to run through the course today is the Barstow, the good old car that sets fire to itself and notorious for having a glass drive shaft. Surely this is not a good option for taking on this course. Or is it? You never know. You really never know when it comes to the Endurodrome. I'm going to be surprised if this makes a lap, not going to lie. Would be fun. Would be fun if it made it a very long way, but there are all sorts of things that can go wrong with this car. Steering is probably got, I mean, you can see the size of the tyres at the front. It's not likely to have, it's better than I thought it was going to be, actually. Might even be a little bit better than the Satsuma. I suspect, okay, I'm going to make a prediction. On the on the Barstow. If it isn't the drive shaft that goes, I'd be willing to bet the radiator's going to go, and that will take the car out. Probably before the wheels go, to be fair. Wheels have held on fairly well on these cars so far. I mean, yeah, sure, the Satsuma did go out with wheel failure, but it lasted a good old time before that let go. I am having to be quite careful with this car. You can already see the temperature gauges shooting up in the Barstow. I'm having to be very, very careful with this car. Power delivery wise, there is just so much power wanting to escape out the back of the car that I just can't go very near the throttle. I daren't take much speed. Well, we saw with the Satsuma how you could just take that fraction too much speed, lose the back end, and you're in all sorts of trouble. In fact, that's what killed the Grand Marshal as well. Just took a bit too much speed up here, ended up out of position, landed the jump wonky, and then that is a bye-bye to the steering. I'm hopefully not going to do the same thing with this. Now, it is possible to lose the entire engine out of the car. I have done that a long time ago. I was speedrunning the car. In big crashes, it is possible to lose the entire engine. I think it's the Barstow that you can actually lose the entire front subframe. We are very unlikely to see it get to that point. Quite frankly, the drive shaft is going to die, or the radiator is going to die before that ever happens. I mean, yeah, cars take a battering around here, but it will probably lose a wheel before it loses the entire front. It'll be fun, but it's not going to happen with this. We've also done a silly low-speed roll. You can hear rustling in the background. Eve's in one of those moods and has currently pulled the laptop bag over. Oh, that's a trouble. That's a big problem for the car. I was really hoping I could get away with not breaking the radiator so early on. Well, there's not much I can do about that. I've just got to hope that I hope there's a very small leak. That's all I can hope for. And because I can't really go near the throttle because the car's so immensely fast, we might get away by not overworking the engine too much, or it might just give up on the landing. I have a feeling where it landed from the jump, as the suspension compressed, what suspension there is, probably put the engine too low to a speed bump and we hit that. That's the best guess I can come up with for that. I wasn't quite expecting that. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I was expecting the drag car to struggle, but very, very innocuous death. Very innocuous death for the Barstow. It's not going to be moving any further. I mean, they're not the worst cars that we've had run around here, which is something. On to the leaderboard, and the Satsuma drag car will go furthest of the day, and it's a pretty respectable distance, all things considered. Goes into a 21st place on lap 3, is actually sandwiched in between two rally cars. The Beamn rally car got slightly further around the corner before the engine in the end gave up on that one, although it's pretty battered beforehand. The Corvette was unlucky, admittedly, hit a very, very heavy landing, but you know, the Satsuma did make it a good distance for a drag car, even if a lot of it was on fire. I should probably add that in there as well. We have to go a little bit further down to find the Grand Marshal, a 46th place for that car. Steering failure on that. It will go further than the ETK 800 series, further than the Pigeon. Can't quite beat the Stance Beamn or the Ford Mustang GT, or the Stance A86 for that matter. Turns out Stance cars are better at surviving than drag cars. Who would have thought it? Although the Stance cars were quite a surprise when they went around a little while ago as well. Yeah, the drag cars fared better. I did expect them to be a lot more like the Barstow. Now, let's be honest. I was expecting them to be a lot more like the Barstow. It will go. It was the car that made it the furthest on the first lap. Sorry, it beats the Skyline. However, yeah, couldn't make it onto lap 2. Again, it was a bit unlucky with that car, the way the engine got taken out on the speed bump. But that happens around here. As I said, I suspect suspension kind of compressing the front of the car quite low to the ground, going over a speed bump, just hit the engine the right way and took that out. That, though, is going to be it for this episode. As ever, I shall link all the mods used in the description so you can download them and have a go with them yourself. But that is going to be it from me. Until next time, a goodbye.